Hello everyone. Welcome you to the second part of introduction to research. In the first part, we had discussed about the introduction to the research and the type of research, different type of research. Uh, in here, we'll discuss about this research topic. Basically, how to select a research topic, that is really one of the very vital thing for the researchers, particularly those who are doing a master degree or the PhD degree, specifically the PhD degree, because moreover, if you consider the all the research degree, PhD degree is the ultimate research degree. So before going into the selection of the topic, you have to do a proper literature survey, about your area of interest. Because see what happens whenever you are doing the bachelor degree, that time it would be a kind of very broad kind of things you used to study throughout your bachelor degree. Like those who are doing you know your engineering course, suppose doing engineering like computer science engineering, mechanical engineering, it is quite broad. Now whenever you go for the master degree, in that case, out of that bachelor degree you will have to choose a particular portion. If you consider about the mechanical engineering, mechanical is having three part. One is your production engineering, your this thermal engineering, and design engineering. Likewise, if you go to the management one, then in that case your human resource management is there, your this this operation management is there, your financial management is there. Likewise, broad classifications are there in each branch or in each department. Likewise, whenever you go for the PhD, you will have to select a particular topic from the your this area of interest. So suppose someone is having an area of interest in a particular topic, and he has to choose a very narrow topic from his area of interest. So while going for the research topic selection, you have to think about your area of interest, in which area you are having an interest. Then only you can proceed further for selection of the topic. Now the first step of that to selection of the topic is your choose a topic that you are interested in, and the research process is more relevant if you care about your topic. Then definitely if you are having an interest, in that case what will happen, the enough motivation you will get while carry out your research work. If you will choose a topic which is out of your area of interest, in that case the basic will not be clear to you, and the other thing will be that you will not be motivated enough to work in that particular area. So first and foremost thing is that you have to choose the topic from your area of interest. Now as you as if you see the area of interest, in that case it will be quite broad one. So the PhD topic, it will be kind of narrow topic. If it will be a broad one, it will be a multi-directional. In that case, you will not be able to achieve your objective. So you have to always select a narrow topic, by which if you carry out your research, what will happen? You will be able to complete the work and you will get the objective with a particular duration of time. So the next part is your narrow your topic to something manageable. In that case, two parts is coming. If your topic is too broad, then you will find too much information that not be able to focus. Definitely, if your topic would be quite broad, what will happen? It will be very tough for you to focus in that broad area of topic. So you have to choose a narrow topic by which you can focus on that. Then the background reading can help you to choose and limit the scope of your topic. Definitely, if you are having a basic concept of that particular topic, in that case only you can proceed further. Until and unless your basic will not be clear, in that case you cannot proceed further. And also it would be very tough for you to study the literature, because a lot of termination, a lot of terminology you'll find while going through the literature, while studying others paper, and it will be very tough for you to get the concept of that particular area, a particular topic. So two things you have to clear in the mind. First is that the topic should not be very broad. Other thing is that the basic of that particular topic, it should be clear to you. Next is this review of the guideline on the topic selection outline in your assignment and ask your professors or your teaching assistants for suggestion. Suppose you are having a interest area of interest in a particular topic, then next is and that within that area of interest a lot of subtopic would be there, and that you can discuss with your supervisor. So these are the things. This is the broad area where I am interested, and I want to just continue my research work from this area of interest, and I have to choose a selective topic. In that case, he can help you, and he can also give you some kind of suggestion. Then you have to go through a lot of literature survey, and you have to finalize your topic. Then also while your selection of the topic, you can refer to the lecture notes and ask the text to refresh your knowledge of the course and assignment. Because if you see the PhD, what happens the first year of the PhD, generally the research scholar they used to get involved in the course. In that case, while doing the coursework, in that case you will get enough basic knowledge of that particular area. And the coursework generally people they do that is more or less similar to your area of interest, and that topic must be you can learn from that topic, by which that knowledge will helpful for you to carry forward your research work. Then at the end, for selection of the topic also, you can consult with your friend, uh, or you can consult with your lab mate, because also you can consult with your seniors if someone is working in a particular topic, and that topic is related to your area of interest. And what will happen, that fellow can help you if he has a good interest, a good knowledge about that particular topic. He can help you to find out the topic. See, the final topic, that you will have to find out by yourself only. But the broad topic, that can you can take the suggestion from your supervisor, you can take suggestion from your friends, from your senior, which will help you to find out your final work, your final topic. And final topic should be narrow, it should be unidirectional, and your objectives should be clear to you. And that can be possible once you go to the a thorough literature survey. Just I'm giving one example. Suppose you are choosing that, yeah, this is your broad area of interest, and that from that broad area of interest you have to search from the internet, yeah, from the this lot of your websites are there, by which you will able to download the papers. And you can that in a lot of university, what happens, some of the paper you'll not be able to download from that university. In that case, you can take the help of your friend, where that kind of this your availability is there. If subscription, that university is not able to subscribe, and that university is not able to provide you that particular journal, a particular research paper. In that case, you can consult any one of your friend who is mm, working in some other university, where that particular website is available. Means the paper you can easily download from that particular institute. You can take the help from them, and in that way only you have to choose the topic. So carry out your whenever you are doing your PhD, your research topic should be of from your area of interest, and that topic should be narrow one, and you should have a sufficient background knowledge from of that particular topic. Then you will have to go through a thorough literature survey, and you have to develop the research. You have to find out the research gap. Once you finding the research gap, then you can set your objective. Because see, until and unless you are not finding the research gap, what will happen, the work which you will do already, that work will some other people might have done that kind of work. So whenever you are doing the literature survey, in that case you have to find out the result whatever you are getting from that paper. At the same time, you have to find out the research gap what that particular person has not done in his research. Then on the basis of that, you can find the research gap, and once you're finding the research gap, then you can select your objective. Now, what makes a topic good. These are some point. This The topic must be from your area of interest. That is right. Already have discussed that thing. Then the topic should be creative. What is the meaning of that? Topic should be creative means the topic where you will work that should have sufficient scope in the scientific community. A lot of things are there already. A lot of researchers have done, and if you want to just work in that particular topic by doing some kind of modification or all, that will not be helpful for you. Just I am giving one example. If you see right now in the technology that renewable energy is a boom topic, it's a hot topic. You can also consider for the automobile sector, the that different kind of batteries operated car. The people are doing research in that. So in that way, you have to find out what is the things which is what are the things which are going on the market. What are the new topics which the scientists are doing research. That's why always try to follow the recent published paper, because if you follow the paper which has been published like 5 years back, 10 years back, in that case it will not be helpful. In each year lot of research paper are coming. In each year people are doing a huge number of work in a particular topic, so you have to be up to date while carry out your research work. That's why literature survey, that is very vital. Then the next step is your topic should not be too broad. Already we've discussed that thing. Always try to take a narrow topic by which you'll be able to, find out the objective. If the topic would be broad, a lot of objective you will find, and you will not be achieve that objective. That will be problematic for the research scholar. Then availability of resources, which is very, very, very vital, because those people are doing experimental kind of work. For them, it is very vital. Why I'm telling this thing, because if you compare between a theoretical work and a experimental work is helpful. It will be easy once you have that setup. If you are not having the setup, if you are not having that infrastructure in the institution where you are working, it will be very tough for you to carry out your research work. So before selection of a topic, you have to be keep in your mind, and you have to uh, be sure that the resources which were required, yeah, the machine you require, the experimental setup which you require, that must be available in your university where you are doing the PhD. In some cases, what happens, all the instrument, it is very tough to get all the instrument from a particular institute. That is fine. In that case, you must have some kind of contacts from the other institute where that equipment is available. So before your fix your research topic, you have to think about that whether the resources are available or not. Then next is your guide should have sufficient, you could have knowledge about the topic. See what happens if you select the topic by your own without consulting the guide. In that case, you might face some problem. Why? If you face any kind of problem, while doing your research work, in that case, your guide will not be there to help you. So you have to choose a topic which will be the domain of your supervisor, by which it will be easy for you to get the help from your supervisor. Otherwise, you'll have to face problem. Now, this role of supervisor and student. See, this is one of the very vital thing for the research scholar, because supervisor plays a key role for any research scholar while carry out their research work or carry out their PhD. Why I am telling this thing? Generally, people say if you are getting a very good guide, a very good supervisor, that means 30% work is completed, because you will have to coordinate with the supervisor. If the supervisor is very, helpful in nature, and he is very supportive kind. In that case, it would be very easy for the research scholar to carry out his research work. That's why in this particular slide I have mentioned what will be the role of supervisor. At the same time, I have mentioned some of the point what will be the role of your student. Now we'll discuss about the role of supervisor. uh, he must assist the student in identifying a suitable research topic. Because why I'm telling this thing, uh, when someone is doing his someone is going to start his PhD work, in that time it would be very tough for him to analyze everything. If the supervisor is very supportive enough, in that case, a lot of things, it will be easy for that particular in research scholar to choose the topic. Because selection of topic is very vital. Once you will choose a wrong topic, in that case what will happen? Wrong topic means if you're choosing a topic which is not very good significance importance in the society and all. In that case, generally people face problem, uh, you know while carry out their research work. That's why the research topic should be interesting and it should be very creative one. And so always the research scholar, he must consult with his supervisor while selecting the topic. So if you see the supervisor perspective, he must assist his student or research scholar to choose a suitable research topic. Then monitor the student progress time to time. What happens in any institution, if you see those who are doing the full-time research, for them in each 6 months, they have to give the presentation. Means what are the things they have done in the last 6 months, and what are the things they will do in the next 6 months. Again, after 6 months, they will have to you know show to the this doctoral committee that these are the things I had shown you in the previous progress seminar, and I have done this thing. So always in the research work, in the PhD work, the research scholar, they they not generally, they give this your progress seminar. You can consider, you can say that it's a progress seminar in each 6 months. Generally, it happens. So the supervisor has to guide his research scholar for this uh, progress time to time. Because directly, sometimes some supervisors are there, they do not guide their research scholar. But whenever this progress seminar come, during that time, they just discuss about that topic. In that case, what happens? The research scholar faces a lot of problem, because the doctoral committee, they will not they will not let you know, yeah, they will not let you go without doing anything during the last 6 months. They will have, you will have to give sufficient answer to them why you have not done this thing. So uh, while carry out your research work, the supervisor, carry out the research work, the supervisor has to yeah, he has to give sufficient advice, sufficient, what I can say is, he should monitor his student progress time to time. Then guide student on what to do and explain the reason behind it. Always the your supervisor, he guides the students on what are the things he has to do and explain the reason behind it. What happens in any premier institute, if you see the supervisor, he meet with his research scholar in each like twice in a week or thrice in a week or once in a week, like that only. Now according to if you see the supervisor rule, he must give some kind of work to his this research scholar, and in the next meeting he has to ask about the work he has given in the previous meeting. On the basis of that, he has to regulate his research scholar. The next is to assist the student in the interpretation of research finding and output. Suppose the research scholar is doing some kind of research work, and he's getting a result. Now, getting the result is not sufficient. He has to interpret the result, and supervisor must help that particular student or research scholar if he faces any kind of problem while interpreting the result, while getting the result, while analyzing the result. Now, make student aware of the responsibility and uh, the supervisor expectation. Definitely, the supervisor always motivate the supervisor, motivate his research scholar. Along with that, he has to uh, tell his your research scholar that what is his responsibility, what are the things he must do while carry out his research work. Then the last point is consult and advise when the student have a personal problem also, because this is the thing. This PhD degree, what happens? It is a generally people they start PhD at the age of 26, 27 like that. Then and it is a duration of 4 to 5 years, 6 years, 7 years. You do not know what will be the time duration for your PhD. So during that time, some kind of problem generally the research scholar they face, and the supervisor must be supportive to his research scholar for any kind of problem. It may be a personal problem, it may be a professional problem, anything. He has to, cooperate his your research scholar, by which that will act as a motivation for that particular research scholar. Then it is the rule of student. Research topic must be choose with the help of supervisor, who is the supervisor considered to be suitable and which he or she is competent to supervise. Definitely, on the previous slide, I had discussed that thing, because the topic must be from the area of interest of the research scholar, as well as the faculty, the supervisor has the supervisor must have some kind of knowledge over that particular topic. Now, to work systematically and within agreed deadline as far as the possible in order to meet the program deadline. Definitely, the your student, he has to work systematically to agree the deadline, whatever given by his supervisor. The next is to be well prepared for meeting with the supervisor. Actually, what happens? Some of the research scholar, what they do is, uh, like they do not complete the work which has been given by the supervisor, and when they meet with the supervisor, they do not able to show the work whatever he had got in the previous meeting. That makes a conflict between the research scholar and the supervisor. So always you have to make a proper note, and whatever things, yeah, whatever assignment is given by the supervisor, in that thing you have to note it down. And while you are coming while you will come for the next meeting, in that case you have to try to complete you have to complete all the work which has been given by your supervisor. That is the most vital thing for the student. And always the student, he must keep all the kind of this mail records and all. What happens if the supervisor, he has mailed something to the research scholar, and you are not aware of that mail, in that case generally the conflict come. Intentionally get angry over the research scholar, so that may create problem. So this is very one of the most important thing. Always before coming for the meeting, the research scholar has to complete all the assignment work which has been given by the supervisor. Then to give serious attention to the advice and the direction of the supervisor. If the supervisor is giving any kind of suggestion, any kind of advice to the research scholar, in that case he must be attentive to that, and he must be consider that thing very seriously, which will which always reflect as a good sign as in between the relationship of your supervisor and the research scholar. If And generally this thing happens if someone has given you some work, if you are doing that work, uh, and you are completing their work within the time duration which you have got, definitely your boss, you can consider your supervisor. It generally happens in the family also. They generally, you know yeah, get happy with you. That's why whatever suggestion, whatever things he is telling to you, in that case the particular student, he should be attentive, and he should give much more focus to the advice given by the your supervisor. Then to realize that the supervisor and duties and commitment, what happens sometimes, some of the research scholar, they we are without informing to the guide, they directly go to his chamber to meet them, like in the unprofessional way. That should not be happen always. Generally this culture in India, actually this culture is not so, uh, this culture is not there everywhere. I can consider everywhere this culture is not there. Generally, each day people, they used to meet, they used to meet like, without thinking that the guide is having, a supervisor is having any kind of work and all. They generally go to his chamber. That may sometimes, that may create a problem. So always before meeting to the supervisor, you have to be, think about that his responsibility, his other classes and all. You should be very much careful about that. The research scholar must be careful about. These are the things of the supervisor, and the rule of the supervisor and rule of the student. If both the people, if you will follow these points, definitely there will be a good relationship between a supervisor and student, and which will be helpful for both the supervisor and the student. Now, what are the things, yeah, what are the things by which the student, they get stressed? Here I have pointed out some point, like too many direction at once. What happens, some of the your student, they uh, choose a topic of broad area. If you are choosing a topic of broad area, in that case what will happen, you generally, it will be very tough for the student to fix his objective. You will get too many direction for too many objective, and at the end you will not be get to the conclusion. So you have to you have to be very much focused, and that's why at the starting I had told that. So you have to choose the topic. Yeah, you choose a narrow topic by which there will be a single unidirectional you can move. Then due to supervisor also, some students, they get stressed, because some of the supervisor, they give intentionally pressurize to the research scholar, by which sometimes they will get stressed. Then guidelines keep changing. If your supervisor is, uh, you're giving some deadline, and after that he is changing that particular deadline also, in that case also the student, they get stressed. Also I'm telling, guideline keep changing, like in that way what will happen. if if you have fixed a particular topic, and at the mid you understood that it is very tough to continue with that topic, and due to some kind of problem, due to the your unavailability of the resources, and you are changing the topic. So these are the things, it also stress to the student. Then one want the experience to be positive. Actually, always, yeah, this there always this positive kind of nature. Yeah, always this, more stressed kind of work whenever your supervisor is giving, yeah, anyone is giving. That also make the, research scholar stressed. Then being unappreciated. This is basically, if you're doing a good work, and your department or your research, your supervisor, he's not appreciating that research scholar. Definitely, that makes, you're demotivated. You can consider that makes stress to the student or research scholar. Always, that's why generally people, they say, no, if you're doing a good kind of work, you must be awarded. Uh, your by your the department or by the society also. That's why whenever one research scholar is he is doing some kind of good work, always his teacher, his mentor, his supervisor, he has to this, he has to appreciate to his research scholar for his work. Then deadline, it also act as a due to the deadline, the student, the research scholar, they get stressed because what happens, I'm telling, if you are not doing the work properly, what will happen? Uh, this progress seminar and all, the fixed tenure would be there. Within a 6 month, you will have to give the your progress seminar. If you are not able to, if you are not able to show proper result, a proper your work in the progress seminar, it will be a problematic things for you. That's why this kind of deadline and all, due to that, the student also they get stress. Then poor direction. If you are not going on your going onto a right path, in that case also you'll have to face a lot of problem and you'll not get the adequate result. So proper direction is required. If you will move in a poor directional way, in that case also the student will be stressed. Then finding something novel. Generally PhD is a research degree is a kind of things is that always you have to do some kind of this novel work, yeah, new work you have to do. If you are not able to do a new work, your paper will not be accepted. If you will not if your paper will not be accepted by the scientific community, then you will not get the degree. That also we are create stresses over the student. Then trying to understand the problem. If you are to just I'm giving an example, this thing happens to the student. Sometimes some of the people they choose the topic out of their interest, due to some kind of yeah, different reason, due to some kind of constant, they choose the topic from some other research area which is not from their area of interest. That also makes that also create a problem to the student. Then feeling not getting anywhere. Sometimes some of the research scholar, they always due to different kind of reason, they do not get motivated. They they stay in the depression. That's why that is also a kind of problem which is generally faced by the student. Then alone in the dark. Sometimes if your supervisor is not helping you and you are not able to finding out your problem, if you are not able to getting the result of the problem which you have said, that also create a problem. And due to that also the student also get stressed. Then insecurity and fear of failure, these are the most these are the very frequent things by which the student they get stressed. Why I'm telling this thing is a frequent thing. uh, Nowadays if you see in the market, the student, a lot of research scholars, they think that after completion of the their PhD, after completion of the research degree, what I'll do, what will be the next step, whether I'll get a good job, whether I'll get a this whether I'll be fulfilling my need or not. Fulfilling the need means if someone has a desirous of working in a good institution as a assistant professor or as a scientist and all. If you're not getting that kind of job, so definitely that also create a problem on your mind. The fear of failure means if you are if you consider one thing that you'll have to proceed in that way. And always one thing that will that will be in your mind, that whether I'll be able to complete that work or not. That also make a problem to the student, by which they also get stressed. So these are the point by which these are the things by which the student get stressed while carry out their research work. Now, this is the research process. It has been broadly classified into three types. One is your research proposal, research activity, then the written content. What is research proposal means? First thing is that you have to find out your generalize your research area on which area you want to work. That is very vital, and it must be from your area of interest. Then choose your research topic, and that research topic should be from your area of interest. So first, you have to select a broad area of interest on which area you want to do the work. Then, in that area, you'll find you'll just if you deeply do the research, then you'll find a lot of different topics in that broad area. Then you have to find out your suitable area, yeah, according to the availability, according to interest. Then formulate the plan and methodology. That is also very vital. Once you're choosing your topic, you have to find out the your plan. How once you're choosing the topic means you have to find out the objective also. This will be a objective to and you, once you are setting your objective, then you have to formulate your plan and methodology. Means how you will achieve that particular objective, and what will be the methodology, whether it will be experimental work, whether the theoretical work, and what will be the plan of your work. That is always very important for the research scholar, and that is very vital for the research process. In the collection of data, once you are setting that whether you are interested for the your experimental work or a mathematical work or even a statistical work, then you have to collect the data. Collect the data means just collecting the result, you're finding the result. And finding the result is not sufficient one. Because if you're finding the result, then what I can say that you have to show them the reason of the result, why you are getting that result. That is also very important. That's why analyzing the interpretations of data, whatever result you are getting, what is the reason behind that result, that also you have to find out. If just I'm giving one example, if you are changing one variable, the other variable is changing. Why this changing is happening, why this variable is changing in the opposite direction, in the same direction, that you have to give the answer. That is comes under the analyzing and interpretation of data. Then at the end, present your finding means whatever result you will get, that you have to whatever conclusion you will get from the result, that you have to show to the scientific community, and that you can show by writing a article. That's why that is the present your finding. That is basically your that must be in a written content, and you must have to this show that thing to the scientific community and acknowledge your idea to the scientific community. These are the various steps in the research process we have already discussed. That was the broad one. It was in details. It has been given out here. Just I'm pointing out all the points. Formulating the research problem already I've discussed. Then extensive literature survey. Extensive literature survey means the area where area of the area of interest of which you have decided your topic. Then over that you have to read a lot of literatures. You have to review a lot of literatures. That is means if you are choosing a particular topic, you have to find out the number of people who are working in that particular topic, and you have to follow their research work. Then only you have to find out the research gap. Then on the basis of the research gap, you have to select the research topic. Then developing the hypothesis. That is also very vital. It's on the basis of the literature survey, what the hypothesis you want to develop. That is also very important. Then preparing the research design. Research design means like on which way you will do the research. Means it is an experimental one, it's a theoretical one. Means it can constitute a plan of research. You can consider and that is determine the sample design. Sample design. In that case, generally what happens, those who are doing the experimental one, those who are doing the statistical research, how many data set you will have to consider, how many you know this what I can call say that what is the number of sample for your research. That also plays a very vital role while carry out your research work. Then execution of project, then analysis of the data, hypothesis testing, then generalization and interpretation. All these we discussed, and preparation of report and presentation of result. formal write-up of conclusions is at the end. This writing part, that is also very vital, because you have to show the result to the scientific community. Then criteria for the good research. What are the different points we have to keep in the mind while carry out your research work, and by which the research should be considered, your research should be considered to be a good research. First thing is that the purpose of the research should be clearly defined and common concept to be used. Means what will be your objective? Yeah, what is the purpose of your research? That should be clearly defined, and it must use the common concept. Then the research procedure used should be described in sufficient detail to permit another researcher to repeat the research for further advancement, keeping the continuity of what has already been attained. What happens if you see a number of mathematical modeling, a number of research work? If one scientist he has developed some kind of research work, later on what happens? Some of the other scientists, they try to change, they try to use that concept and try to make some kind of changes in the existing one. So you have to your design, yeah, you have to fix one procedure which will be describe sufficient details to permit another researchers to repeat the same research kind of work. That details of the experimentation, details of the methodology, that must be clear. Then procedural design of the research should be carefully planned to yield result that area of objective is possible. That is also very vital, because procedure design, that the previous point and this point is more or less similar kind of thing. That procedural design of the research should be carefully planned, which will yield the result, and that area's objective is possible. And the researchers should report with complete frankness flaws in procedural design and estimate their effects upon the finding. Definitely, if you are doing one kind of research and you're finding that these are the flaws in that procedure and all that, you have to uh, you know that you have to tell to the scientific community. Yeah, these are the drawbacks also that you have to mention. That will be also considered to be a good research, because whenever you are getting something, if it is having a side effect, if it is having some kind of limitation, that also you have to find out. Then the analysis of the data should be sufficient, adequate to reveal its significance, and the method of analysis used should be appropriate. The validity and the reliability of the data should be checked carefully. See, what happens whenever people are doing people that do the experimental work, they must do the experiment two times, three times, four times, like that. Because one time, if you do the experiment, if you show that result to the scientific community, what will happen? Sometime, do not get the appropriate result. That's why you have to uh, do the experiment two, three times. Then you can consider the average data, which will be helpful for the other researcher who will carry out their work from that particular topic. And the validity and reliability of the data should be checked carefully. If you are doing the research, then you can compare your work with the other published work related to a more or less similar to that topic, and you have to repeat the experiment. In conclusion, should be confined to those justified by the data of research and limited to those for which the data provide an adequate basis. You have to make a proper conclusion from your research work, which will be helpful for other researchers to carry out their work. Then greater confidence in research is warranted if the researcher is experienced and has a good reputation in research and a person of integrity. Generally, this thing happens for the people who has a first experience in the research field of research of that particular topic, and which helps them to make a good reputation in the research and the integrity of individual. Then the last, it is the characteristics of good research. Actually, these are the point I have pointed out here. Up to this which we have discussed, And on the basis of that, these are the 4 points by which we can confirm that, we can say that the research should be a good one, is a quality one. uh, the other point, first one is your, and good research is systematic. Systematic means randomly if you are getting some value, randomly if you are, just um, getting the observation, in that case it will not be acceptable. So always you have to follow a systematic manner by which what will happen. You can show that result to the scientific community, and the other people who will have the interest on that particular area, they can follow that uh, their procedural step, and they can achieve the particular goal. If you will randomly do some kind of thing, what will happen? You cannot show a proof to the scientific community. So it must be a systematic one. Good research is logical. Why it is logical? Logical means always you have to interpret the result, why this result is coming. Just I'm giving one example. Suppose someone is checking the properties of a material. Someone has developed a material and is trying to test the properties of the particular material. Now you have to give a particular reason why the properties of material that is different as compared to the other material. Why the properties of material has been enhanced? Why the material properties of the material has been, you know, changes? All these things you have to show. Otherwise, it will not be considered to be a logical research. Then good research is empirical one. Definitely, your research which you are doing, that must be an empirical one. Then next is your good result is replicable. Replicable means if you are doing a research, same parameter if someone is considering and he is repeating the same parameter, he must get the result more or less similar to the result which you have got. That's why whenever you are doing any kind of experimental work, you have to find out the variable, like controlled variable or uncontrolled variable, and you have to mention that one. Then yeah, once you are getting the controlled variable and uncontrolled variable, and you are mentioning that thing in your article, the next people who will do some kind of experiment, if someone is interested to validate that one, in that case he can get similar kind of result, by considering same kind of parameter. So these are the characteristics of board research. So uh, these are the point you have to keep in the mind while carry out your research work, and which will help you to, yes, to make to get a successful result. And by that you can easily publish the article, because whenever you send the article to the journal, they see these kind of things, the systematic manner, this logical thing, empirical thing, and replicable kind of thing. What is this replicable, what I'm telling, because some of the people, they try to manipulate the data, uh, and due to that, and some of the people, you know due to that manipulation, uh, they they face a severe problem. That's why whenever you are conducting any kind of experimental research, in that case you have to be careful for your research work, and it must be a replicable one. Okay, thank you.